Now let's delve into perhaps one of the greatest mysteries all time, the Loch Ness Monster. Across all these years, it fascinated the minds of millions of young kids, through grown-ups and casual observers up to dedicated researchers. Now, what really does a person know about this elusive creature? Is this one a real monster roaming within Loch Ness, or rather some mix of hoaxes, folklore, and a human imagination? We are going to break it down into more understandable terms and take a good look at all the theories with the Loch Ness Monster. The creature, often referred to lovingly as Nessie, supposedly haunts the Loch Ness, a great and deep freshwater lake in Scotland, the Highlands. The earliest recorded sighting of the animal is 565 AD, so it is said, through the written account of an Irish monk named Saint Columba. It is with the modern times that this popular Nessie story started to begin, during the 1930s, when a couple said that they saw the gargantuan creature in the lake. The said report created thousands of recorded sightings up until now. People have seen some photographs and videos, plus eyewitness accounts about the so-called elusive creature being captured, yet none so far the conclusive proof of existence has been proven scientific. Nevertheless, the mystery remains alive and well. So why is this mystery still thriving? One of the most believable explanations for the Loch Ness Monster is that it's all a hoax. Throughout the years, several famous photos and videos of the creature have turned out to be fakes or misinterpretations. The most famous example is the surgeon's photograph of 1934, showing what appears to be a large creature with a long neck emerging from the water. That was one of the most impressive images taken for many decades. In 1994, though, it turned out the photo was arranged by a man named Christian Spilling, who admitted having created the photo using a model. This revealed some deep-seated skepticism into many other so-called sightings. Other than the photographer of the surgeon, many more people have been caught making false videos and pictures in hopes of capitalizing on this legend of Nessie. Given the tradition of sightseeing that stretches over nearly a century, it wouldn't be any surprise at all if a few people were staging those scenes for their attention or their coffers, given the tourist-filled region in Loch Ness. Let us take that maybe there is a less nefarious explanation: misidentification. Loch Ness is quite large and murky, so it could be that sometimes people just see things because of their environment. Actually, several scientists have argued that all these apparitions of Nessie would most probably be just big logs or debris floating through. Wave created by boats, large kinds of fishes as sturgeon, and also big otters that appear even greater while distant could be some plausible explanations. Also, an effect known as backslash 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 refraction backslash 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 backslash. Where light bends through water may create illusions. In a few cases, that could account for some of the odd shapes people believe they see as moving in the loch. But still, here's the thing: even granting that these potential explanations might suffice, there are people who insist they have seen something amazing. Is that just our brains filling in gaps, or is something more at play? Perhaps the most popular theory for those who believe in this monster is that Loch Ness Monster is a survival from a time when dinosaurs roamed Earth. The most frequent belief claims that it is some sort of water-dwelling dinosaur like a plesiosaur. It existed millions of years ago and became popular because of its very long neck and body like a reptile. However, this theory holds little scientifically. Plesiosaurs became extinct long before human beings set foot on Earth. There is no credible evidence which could prove that any of these survived into the modern world. The environmental conditions also make it unlikely for a creature of such large proportions to thrive in Loch Ness. Loch Ness is a rather cold and murky lake, not an ideal habitat for large marine reptiles. So although quite an interesting thought, there is not much scientific reasoning behind the ancient creature theory. Some theorists state that maybe hidden underwater caverns in Loch Ness hold the answer to such large unknown animals. The caverns may be holding something in their bottom surface, since possibly it is a secret area for what lies inside of it. Scientific studies about that have never been discovered, though all modern technology used in scanning Loch Ness sonar scanning nothing can be traceable from any big unknown creature. The concept of submarine caves is interesting, but in fact, given the state-of-the-art technology today, it is doubtful that any unknown creature could remain undetected for such a long period of time without leaving behind a piece of evidence. Another theory says that the Loch Ness Monster is a result of human psychology, where people have a tendency to create patterns and stories where no one exists. Humans are programmed to look for familiar shapes, and with the murky water of Loch Ness, it may lead people to see a monster in the odd shapes. This theory also ties into something called cryptomnesia, where people convince themselves they've seen something supernatural based on prior knowledge of a myth or story. Essentially, once you've heard about Nessie, your brain is more likely to interpret any strange sighting in the loch as a monster. All theories and possibilities aside, what's there to say? Can anyone say with any kind of certainty that the Loch Ness Monster does indeed exist? Not on your life. The evidence coming from Nessie is at best circumstantial, and even the hundreds of hoaxes and misidentifications only stand to hinder conclusions. And though ancient creatures and underwater caverns make for fine imagination and storytelling, they are built on far too little concrete evidence to be considered even remotely true. However, the mystery remains, not only because of the reported sightings, but also because it touches something deeper in us. People are attracted to stories of unknown creatures and mysteries waiting to be unraveled. That is why the Loch Ness Monster is so intriguing, and that is why people keep coming to Loch Ness hoping to catch a glimpse of something that may just be a product of our collective imagination. At the end of the day, whether it is a real creature or just an idea, Loch Ness Monster represents the interest of the world in things that cannot be explained, and the chance that maybe there are some secrets still to be unraveled in the world. And perhaps that is enough to make it part of our collective consciousness for years to come. What do you folks think? Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster, or is it only an all too well fabricated myth? Have your say in the comments section below.